Have you ever in your life told somebody or been told by somebody, shove it up your ass?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
Why are you asking?
Oh, you didn't see what happened today?
Oh, now I made the connection.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, like, I mean, I'm sure I said it when quoting Rush Hour. I mean, I'm almost positive that I said, why don't y'all take that badge and shove it up your ass? Huh? You know, one time.
Is that the only thing you've quoted from Rush Hour, Steven?
No. God, no. Come on. That's Rush Hour.
What about when Jackie Chan's alone at the bar? You ever quote that scene?
No, never. I never quoted that one, but I definitely have quoted apart from the bar where where I'll catch like my cousin like smoking a cigarette or something like that. This was back when, back in the day when I was quoting Rush Hour all the time, or quoting movies in general. Mm-hmm. And he'd be like smoking a cigarette. It ain't nothing but a cigarette. It's cigarette weed.
It's been a minute. I
did not quote that one part from the bar scene. No, I did not.
Yeah, sure you did.
Actually, I did. Now that I think about it, I did not understand that the magnitude of what that scene actually meant when I was much younger. Like I didn't understand fully what the problem was as I'm watching Rush Hour at 10 years old, wondering why Jackie Chan said the word that he said and why he's getting beat up because of it. I didn't understand that.
I quoted it last week on the show where I was doing Chris Tucker as when he's on the phone and he's like, $50 million. Who do you think you are, Chelsea Clinton?
Dude, best blooper at the end.
Oh,
who do you think you are, Chelsea Carter?
Is it Clinton or Clinton? Dude, and everyone knows, it's hilarious that people know this. Everybody knows the blooper in Rush Hour 2 where Chris Tucker keeps fucking up the line where he's trying to say Lee, but he keeps referring to Jackie Chan as Jackie Chan. She's like, oh, we would love that, Jackie. Wouldn't we love to see that? And then Don Cheadle, who is a really good actor, can't stand that Chris Tucker keeps doing that. He's like, his name is Lee, God damn it.
His name is Lee, God damn it. Oh, man. That's actually how Jesse and I kind of, at first, we bonded over several things, but we were also quoting the Rush Hour 2 blooper reel because she loves that movie. And, we still, to this day, if maybe like one of us stubs our toe or something painful, randomly painful that just has a short amount of sting, we'll ask, are you okay? And then we'll reply, Steven, always okay. Or, Jesse, always okay.
That's true love right there when you're quoting the Rush Hour 2 blooper reel.
All time. They're all time, man. So good.
I actually was I saw on the news Eddie Murphy did an interview recently where he was talking about how he was initially offered the role of Chris Tucker's character in Rush Hour. He turned it down to do Holy Man. You remember Holy Man, of course, right?
Can't say that I watched it.
I remember in a Blockbuster. Yeah, can't say that I've seen it. And even Eddie Murphy's like, yeah, it was a terrible movie. But I don't think that Eddie Murphy could deliver the lines as good as Chris Tucker. It just worked.
No, it was perfect. It was like, and watching it later, I mean, it doesn't necessarily hold up, but like when you're watching, a dude from China and a black dude from Los Angeles just throwing kind of these cultural jabs at each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hilarious. They say like they wouldn't be able to get away with that. I think they could get away with that in this day and age. Like, I think, I do think they could get away with that today. Like, I don't think they could get away with a movie like Tropic Thunder where Robert Downey Jr. is playing blackface essentially. But I think with the jokes that they make, I think they could get away with it in this day. I really do. I think it would pass. I think it would come off as edgy. I think people would accept it.
Yeah, I think it's sorry if I'm delayed a little bit. We got a heat wave going on in the East Bay, so I might be a little bit behind. But yeah, I think they were making a Rush Hour 4, but it'll probably be probably a little different.
Yeah, we don't need that.
You don't think we need a Rush Hour 4?
No, you're a little delayed.
Okay. Yeah, hang on, everybody. Sorry about this. But yeah, to answer you answered my question. Has anybody ever told you to stick it up your ass, or you told somebody to do that? I don't think I ever have in my life. I don't think I've ever been that angry where I told somebody you could stick it up your ass, and someone would say that to me. And that's what happened today with Jerry Jones on Michael Irvin's podcast. We'll get to it. Just your opinion, man. Stephen Langford, Derek Papa, we're coming to you on a Thursday night. We're going to talk about some rumors going on with the Las Vegas Raiders and potentially getting one of these guys that are still looking for a contract extension. Talk about what's going on with the 49ers wide receivers. They acquired one yesterday in Sky Moore, but are they in crisis mode when it comes to their receiving core? I don't know about that. Also give just your divisions man segment, a little preview for the AFC South. And then we'll bring back one of our favorites that we do this time of year. I Give It Til, where we give each other a scenario and we give the time frame of when that actually happens. But so, Steven, did you see this with Jerry Jones and Michael Irvin earlier today?
I did catch it, yes.
Okay. Sorry, this might be massively delayed. Do you have the clip that I sent you?
I do. Hang on. Here we go. Got a little.
Is it me or you?
I think it's you because mine seems to be working out just fine. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's catching up a little bit. I'm gonna know like buffering Wi-Fi thing, but maybe it's catching up just a tad. All right. So this was on Michael Irvin's, I guess, YouTube channel now, and Michael Irvin talks a big game. Like I've seen him on FS1. Maybe I haven't actually. I think he got fired recently, but he's always tweeting out stuff about like Jerry better not mess this up with Micah. And then Jerry comes on. And by the way, everybody's giving grave reviews to the new Netflix documentary on the Cowboys. But today he joins him. And have you been watching it?
Yeah. I'm halfway through.
And you think it's just okay?
I think it's good. It's just it's too much Jera, really. And the fact that we're playing, I've had too much Jerry Jones talking in my life for the past 2 days. So I'll get through this video.
Yeah, I apologize. It's just I found this fascinating, but also just ridiculous. So Michael Irvin, he's kind of like skirting a line. Like I actually haven't seen this in full context, but I believe they did have a full conversation about Michael Parsons and the whole negotiations. And Jerry, I guess, has revealed that he offered him the most money for a non-quarterback. So I guess it's got to surpass Jamar Chase, so probably in $42 million range, and guaranteed money. And they've worked out all the particulars. It's just a matter of David Mulugheta, Michael Parsons' agent, actually signing off on this thing. So here we go. Here's Michael Irvin talking to Jerry Jones about Micah Parsons' contract situations.
Okay, and I'll let it go at that. I'll let it go at that. I'll drop this one thing on you because this.
When we wanted to send the details to the agent told us to stick it up our ass.
Oh, wait. Now, see, I was
just so you're clear.
Wait. What do you mean? So wait. No, what do you mean? Because people going to ask.
Mike and I talked, and then we were going to send it over to the agent. And we had our agreements on term, amount, guarantees, everything. We were going to send it over to the agent. And the agent said, don't bother because we've got all that to negotiate. Well, I'd already negotiated. I'd already moved off my mark on several areas. And so the issue, very frankly, is we've had the negotiation in my mind. And the agent's trying to get his nose in it right now and try to come in there and improve off the mark that we'd already said. It's the mama-daddy deal. You go into mama and she won't do it. And she's the boss. So she won't do it. So you run into daddy. Daddy says, do it. And then you go back in and say, mama, daddy said it was all right. Say, oh, mama, daddy did. We've all been there and done that. Well, we've got this thing. resolved in my mind for the Dallas Cowboys. And we've got it done. And if the agent wants to finish up the detail, which is should, and do all the paperwork, and he can do that. And we're ready to go. But as far as the amount of money, the years, the guarantees, all of that, we negotiate that.
So when I saw this or read the quotes initially, my first reaction was, there's no way in hell this agent told Jerry Jones, stick it up your ass. And that has been, I guess, reported as well. I saw like a lot of people out there. Clarence Hill, who covers the Cowboys, caught up with David Mulgeta, and he said, I never said that. Ryan Clark said the same thing. Everyone now is reaching out to him, and he's like, I never told Jerry Jones to stick a contract up their ass. So I also get what Jerry's saying a little bit, where it's like, if Micah agreed, then we agreed. So let's move forward with this. But also, David, the agent, needs to do his due diligence, and he's telling him, no, we're starting from square one. Just contact me, and then we'll work out everything that, you guys started. But yeah, I also kind of blame Micah Parsons a little bit for this, where he's actually sat down with Jerry, and he's a young guy, so he's kind of naive, but he sat down with him and I guess worked on this whole thing. So now Jerry believes that they got a deal done, and then his agent tells him, no, that's not how you do this. But then again, he's a player. What are you going to do? So I don't know. Now Micah Parsons has removed all social media of the Dallas, or removed all Dallas Cowboys stuff from his social media. So they'll figure it out. But yeah, I think this is going to get uglier. But then again, I don't know. I also could see this getting done next week or the Monday before the season opener. So it's all hoopla right now. But like Jerry Jones said a couple of days ago or a week ago, he likes a soap opera.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to give you one of my Give It Till answers. I know we're saving that till the end, but I'll just give you one of my
I wrote the same thing probably. Yep.
Okay. Well, maybe not, because you sound like you think it's going to get done before the season is what it sounds like for you.
I'm just saying we have the same question probably.
I'm giving it till the Cowboys start the season 0-2 and Micah Parsons is still sitting out without a contract. I'm giving it till they go 0-2 and then they'll eventually get a contract done, because I'm going back to the Netflix documentary that I just watched today. Mm-hmm. And a big part of it was after they won the first Super Bowl and they ended up getting into a contract dispute with Emmitt Smith. He went on a holdout for 2 months. And once they went 0-2 and they ended up using a rookie running back, they realized, oh, we need this guy. So they ended up paying him. And those first 2 games gave him more leverage than he could have ever imagined. When I hear that they gave him more money than a non-quarterback in NFL history, I just don't believe it. I just don't. I can't believe it, because
I shan't believe it.
What are you doing as a player if you're not accepting that? Like, you got your money. The Cowboys, no, they're not. It doesn't feel like they're that stable of a franchise. And maybe Micah Parsons has more pride than just financial. But I think had they offered that, I think he would have accepted that right away. Maybe Micah's insulted by the way everything's been handled and the way that he's kind of been made out to look with all the reporting that's been going on. Hell, even myself, when I came on here and I was like, wait, so he went into a meeting with them and supposedly had a little discussion about a contract and didn't realize that he was going to walk away with, management screwing him over. Like, it's partially on him, and it still is, but I just don't buy that. And if Jerry is literally sitting there saying, the agent told me to shove that up my ass. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't really buy much of what Jerry's saying. I really don't. And I think they'll officially get things done once the team starts losing.
Okay, that's fair. I'll wait to give my answer until we do the segment. Yeah. I do believe that Jerry Jones did offer this money. I do believe it. I just think that he's so put off that Micah probably agreed to everything, and then his agent comes back and tells him, no, Micah, that's not what we do here. I have to be involved in this. You can't just sit down with the owner and say, I'm going to pay you this. This is the guaranteed money. And then Micah's like, done deal. I'm sure that Micah's like, I feel good about this. Let me go back to my agent. He's like, no. There has to be a dialogue here. So I don't think that Jerry Jones is lying. I think that he just expects David Mulligetta to be like, all right, well, you guys talked it out, so you don't need me. Micah, you cool with this? Cool. That's not how, like, these agents are so fucking powerful now that if you ignore them, they're gonna get butthurt about this. This is a game of egos. This is the most powerful agent in all of football right now, it sounds like, and one of the more powerful owners in football, and they're just doing a dick measuring contest. That's basically what this is. So I do believe him. I just think that he doesn't want to involve the agents. I think that he thinks like, oh, they definitely get in the way. So I think that he's just expecting him to say, well, Mike is good, so you're good, right? And he's not good because he wants a cut of it too. I do believe him. I do believe that he offered everything and he wants to get this done. It's just a matter of involving the agent, and he's not willing to do that.
Wait, why wouldn't Micah accept it then? Like, I'm confused. What do you mean?
I'm sure he did accept it. I'm sure he said, this looks good to me. Let me just talk to my agent.
But why wouldn't the agent accept it if this is the most paid? You're going to get the money regardless. Like, he's going to get a cut of it. So if Micah, it comes to him and says, hey, like, he wants to make me the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, why wouldn't the agent accept that? I don't get what you mean.
Because there might be it just because it says that all on paper, there might be things that they need to go over to be like, okay, how much is guaranteed? What are the incentives? All of the, intricate details of a contract. It sounds good. Like, basically, like what the Bengals put in front of Trey Hendrickson sounds appealing. You'll probably get a lot of money annually. You'll probably be paid 3 years, but it's the guaranteed money after that first year where he's like, no, you're screwing me on this. No. I think that Jerry Jones is like, Micah, I'm giving you $42 million a year. I'm giving you the most guaranteed money for a defensive player, but there's probably like little details where David's like, we need to talk this out a little bit more. I totally understand that.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Probably guaranteed money too. He never mentioned guaranteed, right?
Exactly. So like the same way that Dak Prescott a year ago told Jerry Jones, nah, we're not going to sit down and talk. Let my agent talk to you. Same thing with CeeDee Lamb. Micah made a mistake, and that's just the hubris of youth, if you will, where you're, I don't know. I'm probably using that right. I have no idea. I was texting Alexander Scott old NFL Films quote, and Todd Christensen said that back in an America's Game. But regardless, I'm sure that Micah was very trusting of Jerry and thought everything was good. And in the end, he was like, no, Micah, you and I doing a handshake, that's good enough for me. And it's not. So, yeah. I'm still not buying this thing is. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
Kind of like the Bengals and Shamar Stewart thing, right? Where okay, you're gonna pay me like you would normally a first round pick, but there's little things in this contract where it's like, hey, you're kind of screwing me over here. That's why he didn't accept it in the first place. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. I know that a lot of reporters out there are saying this is going to end in a divorce. This is all just jockeying for position in the media, who has one over on the other one, who looks good right now. I think that, I'm not buying it. I do think this does get done, but I'll talk about that later. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the other guy, the other pass rusher that has a contract situation. And our good old friend Hondo Carpenter has the report. So we know last podcast we talked about this. I brought it up during the the NFC North breakdown, where the Bengals are willing to listen to trade offers for Trey Hendrickson.
Yep. But
they want to have a first-round pick in return and also a defensive player or a young player that can make an impact on their football team. And the latest report is from Hondo Carpenter, our good old buddy who always breaks down the details of what goes on behind the scenes with the Raiders. He had it with Gruden. He had it with Josh McDaniels. Had it with Antonio Pierce and Devontae Adams. And now he's saying that the Raiders are the front runners to trade for Trey Hendrickson. And you have to think about what they would offer. You brought up to me, you texted me that you would offer Malcolm Kuntz, the pass rusher for the Raiders, who didn't play a snap a year ago, who got hurt in training camp, and a second, right? Is that what you offered?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say that's too much. But also the player involved with Malcolm Kuntz, my thing is he didn't play at all last season, so are they going to see that as attractive? But also, everybody makes a good point with this. if you have to give Trey Hendrickson a contract on top of that, then why would you give up so much draft capital at the same time? That's why I don't think this is going to happen. Where with Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, they haven't negotiated at all really between Micah, his agent, and Jerry. And with Trey Hendrickson, it sounds like this deal is basically done. It's just a matter of the guaranteed money after the second year. They're so fucking close. I have a hard time believing.
There, my cat's meowing.
Okay, all good. They're so close that I have a hard time believing that they're just like, okay, we can't make this work. I think that now Mike Brown and Duke Tobin and everybody that is involved with the Bengals, they're just throwing out feelers to the rest of the league to see what they could possibly get. If anything's so enticing that they can't say no, then they'll do it. But I like years ago when the Raiders and Bengals did a deal for Carson Palmer, I don't think that there was anything that was going to make Mike Brown to trade away Carson Palmer, except for the fact that Hugh Jackson, not having a GM, Al Davis just died, offered 2 first-round picks, and he was like, well, I have to give him up for that. That's too hard to pass. 2 first-round picks? Yeah, for a quarterback that doesn't want to play for me? Done deal. For the Raiders, they're not offering 2 first-round picks, and nor should they. I just think that right now the Bengals are using everybody as leverage to see what they could get for Trey Hendrickson, and in the end, everybody's like, you're not going to do that. We're not buying that. We should have done this months ago. We should have done this in March.
Yeah.
Where we have the draft capital to move and the cap space. Now we don't have that ability. So yeah, I'm not buying it. I think that Hondo did his due diligence, but I will be shocked if he's on the Raiders.
Well, Derek, here's how Hondo would respond to it. He never said that they are the front runners.
Oh, the Raiders.
It wasn't him that said it. It was, let me pull it up. In a conversation with an NFL executive, I have no doubt that the Raiders are the front runners. Tom Brady and Mark Davis want to win now, and Spytech has no fear when it comes to making bold moves. So
he's not even saying like Spytech. It could be just like any NFL executive out there.
Any assistant GM thinks, maybe the Raiders are doing that. And he told Hondo, and it sounds just like an opinion. That's what it sounds like, an opinion from an executive, just like anything. When you see the rankings, the quarterback tiers, NFL executives voted on this and voted on this, just because these executives, who are obviously in good standing with the league, just because they say something and think something doesn't necessarily mean it's true. And I would love to think that this is. And also the question would be, would you be willing to pay Hendrickson more money than Crosby, which is probably what he's looking for?
Yeah.
You would not want to do that. And I don't think that'd be a good look for Crosby, especially when you just gave him a new contract. So there's a whole bunch of things going against it, Derek, but it'd be so sick.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you were entertaining this more than me because you like the idea of it.
Yeah, I like the idea of it. I know it's not reality, Derek. You think I'm that dumb, but I just like dreaming of things.
No, I get it, man, but you're also the guy that's, saying you got to trade George Pickens for Brandon Ayuk, and that's not going to happen.
Would have been a good deal.
In hindsight for the Steelers, probably.
Yeah, it would have.
Although, would you rather have DK Metcalf or Brandon Ayuk? I would rather have DK Metcalf.
That remains to be seen. I've seen like a still shot of DK jumping 3 feet in the air to high point of football, but I've also seen a video of him running a route where he looks like one of these guys playing in the 37 and under league, which, have you seen that trend of videos, by the way?
No. 37 and under?
There's someone who posted a tweet and it kind of went viral. Because not many people saw it. Obviously, if it went viral, then you probably would have seen it. But someone posted that they have been watching videos of 40 and under football games all day, and they can't stop laughing. Yeah, people aged 40 and under. And it's actually really funny. There's a couple of videos that get posted, and guys are just getting cracked out there. But
you're talking about like flag football leagues, or like what is this?
No, tackle football. I'm talking in full pads.
Like intramural leagues?
I think so. I don't know how the leagues are organized, but they're wearing pads and they're playing football, and it looks like it's 11 on 11.
Does it look like who was it, Field Yates a year ago that tackled a dummy in the sand and broke his collarbone?
Nothing like that. You know what? I'm gonna search that up. But point being, DK at one video looks slow, so I don't know which one Oh, here we go. Where is it? Where are you? Oh, no. Come on. I need the one that I was cracking up at. Oh, you know what? I sent it to my brother.
Okay, when you go through your DMs with Ian,
no, I got it right now. I don't
okay,
DM that
right.
many people. I just DM you, and for the most part,
okay,
that's it, really. Here we go. Okay. Whoa, what am I doing? There's a lot going on here. All right. Yeah, 37 and under football. It looks real. I don't know if they have linemen.
doesn't look like it.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, do they? Okay.
It's just all in slow motion.
Yeah.
I like it's like not that hard of a hit, but just him getting cracked in the ribs. Credit to him for trying. Oh. It is funny. It is funny.
Yeah, I'd rather have Brandon Ayuk than, or sorry, I'd rather have DK Metcalf than Brandon Ayuk. Given the knee injury,
Yeah.
Come on.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you can't argue with that.
No, you can't. So yeah, okay, you know what then? Like I saw Hondo go out. Like I guess I didn't read it that detailed, but or in detail. But the fact that it's an NFL executive, like we probably should have waited for Vinny Bonsignor or somebody who, even Vinny's well connected. Obviously, I think he knows Mark Davis pretty well, but he also got wrong. Well, he was on the Josh McDaniels story before anybody else, and I poo-pooed that.
Yeah.
But there was the Ben Johnson story and the Matthew Stafford story, and all those didn't come to fruition. And now with Hondo throws out a lot of stories, and they're always breaking news, this. And I never know if there's any legitimacy to them. He does have details of what goes on with the Raiders organization when shit hits the fan. But if he's just citing an NFL executive being like, oh, the Raiders might be a good idea, then I don't know how much I'm buying Hondo these days.
Dude, he does this all the time.
Yeah, I know.
He does this all the time.
I feel like I got.
This is a Hondo special, man.
Yeah.
Like this is a whole thing. Like he does this all the time. He's very well connected. Like he knows people. That's the thing. He knows people. So he could say, I spoke to this person or I spoke to that person, but it's just some random NFL executive who probably doesn't know anything about the inner workings of Cincinnati. So it's just, it's just another one of those things. I'd love for it to be true. And I honestly, I don't want the Raiders to trade Malcolm Kuntz, even though he's been kind of underwhelming in training camp so far, just from what I'm reading and a little bit in the preseason too. Apparently he's kind of lost this explosive first step, which made him so dangerous in the first place. If he has a little bit of upside, he is the younger player that obviously is in the same position group as Trey Hendrickson. I just kind of threw that name out there, and I don't really know who else they would be willing to trade that could satisfy whatever the Bengals want. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody else, honestly. Like, if I was the Bengals, I probably wouldn't want to do that deal. But also, if I was the Raiders and I was John Spytek, that's too much.
Right.
When I have to sign him as well, and you're going to have him make more money than Max Crosby? No. Uh-huh. And you're paying Geno Smith at the same time $40 million a year? Yeah. Nah. So I think we're both in agreement. Trey Hendrickson is not going to the Raiders.
I think we are too.
Okay, then. All right. Let's move on to the 49ers. Wide receiver crisis, I guess, is how you can categorize it, but I don't see it that way. So just the latest. Kyle Shanahan came on with Meat Copes yesterday and said what we all kind of knew. So yeah, sorry to flex about that, but yeah, we knew that DeMarcus Robinson was probably going to get a 3-game suspension. It's not official yet. I want everybody to know that, like that pretty clear. The league has not handed this down yet. They have, but DeMarcus Robinson's also appealing it. So once he's denied the appeal, then we'll get all the alerts and it's official through the NFLPA and whatnot. But the 49ers basically are prepared to play the first 3 games of the season without DeMarcus Robinson. And that's what we all knew. That's why he's getting so much playing time in the preseason. They trade for Sky Moore. That includes a swap of future 6th and 7th round picks. Russell Gage, we found out today, is out 7 to 10 days with a sprained MCL. Jacob Cowing still dealing with the hamstring injury, and I would say I think they're down on him to begin with. Juwan Jennings still not practicing with the calf issue. Do you see this as just panic time with the 49ers wide receiver room?
Derek, let me put it to you this way.
Please do,
All right.
Stephen.
Yeah, let me put it to you this way. This chair that I'm sitting on, this desk, this little kitty litter box that's camouflaged as some form of cabinet, but really it's kitty litter. The table, the chairs that we all have in our house.
Are you just naming things in your office right now?
What's that?
You're just naming things in your office right now, like Brick from Anchorman?
No, I got a point here.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah, shut up. So, like when you buy these things and they arrive in a box and you open that box and it comes in with that little bag of screws. It gives you maybe a little Allen wrench, maybe a couple of things that you can use, a couple of tools. And it comes with just way too many screws.
It takes me hours to build too. It's a pain in the ass, but yes.
All these little parts. And you get done with it and, you use all of them and you kind of realize that you don't really need to use every single little part just to make this thing work. Like this could work without this little extra screw here. This could work with it might not be complete, but you can work with it. And
are you cutting corners when you build your chair, Steven?
No, dude. No. I use the entire thing. But
okay.
I also finished the project thinking, did I really need to do all of that? Like, did it need every single piece of whatever letter F in that screw in that little booklet thing? No.
Connect to B. Yeah, I got you.
Right. And that's how I kind of feel about this wide receiver situation here, this little dilemma. Obviously the Ayuk thing I think is the biggest hit. Not getting back till week 6. That's quite a few games. Juwan Jennings is a big question mark. How bad is that calf injury really? And how much of it is a business thing? Don't know. And Jacob Cowing added to that. Obviously, Russell Gage added. You mentioned all of them, and you added Sky Moore, which I just think is a nothing burger. But pretty much, I think that's just a low risk move to bring someone in, so you're not playing like just with 4 receivers on Saturday.
Right.
And I know you're giving up a 2027 6th round pick. Ooh, but point being, if you're telling me that the Niners are going out there with a healthy Ricky Pearsall, a healthy Christian McCaffrey, healthy Trent Williams, George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk, and you got Brock Purdy, I can make it work with that core. I'm feeling okay with that. And so, no, I don't think this is some sort of a crisis. I think this is just overblown because the injuries continue to pile up. I think a lot of people need to ask themselves, if they are concerned, how much will these guys be used? Juwan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk, sure. Like I get that. But everyone else, like, how much are we going to see Jacob Cowing? How much are we going to see Russell Gage? Like, I think the concern is there because the news is surfacing and you just see an injury, blah, 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 blah. But I just think that with the head coach who's calling plays and your $53 million quarterback, you should be able to weather the storm here while your 3rd string wide receivers are getting hurt.
I agree. And God, rock a new era here. Kittle always gets injured, a.k.a. George Brittle. Rockin', if he has a great game this season, scores 3 touchdowns, I don't want to hear shit, dude. You can't call him out like that right now. Good Lord.
And also, like, he's not hurt as much. He actually plays through pain more than a lot of guys. In the last 4 years, he's missed a total of 3, 2, 1, 2, 8 games in the last 4 years. That's not too bad.
Math is not easy. I feel you, Steven.
Yeah, it took a while.
It's okay. I probably would have taken me longer. Yeah, I'm with you. I think with the way that Kyle Shanahan uses his offense, he's going to throw passes to McCaffrey. He's going to throw passes to George Kittle. He's going to try to run the ball. Hopefully Isaac Guerrero is healthy, and we'll see about Jordan James. I don't know if you can rely on him really, but as I said today, we're not playing this game, this week 1 game against the Seattle Seahawks tomorrow. Guys do get healthy over the course of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Juwan Jennings, I understand it's the unknown. And John Lynch joined Murphy Marcus this morning and said it's not a crisis. He's not frustrated with Juwan. It sounded like he's frustrated. Is he as frustrated as a year ago when he had that press conference right before Brandon Ayuk got that contract and was like, he needs to play. He needs to practice. And then the next day they were about to trade him, and then Kyle Shanahan in a rom-com told John Lynch, I love him, and they signed the contract. I always love using that analogy. I'll always do that. Do you like that one?
I did.
Thank you. Just reminds me of like the ending of Friends. You understand that, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, there you go. You have to drive to the airport sometimes to tell the woman that you love her. Anyway, so
Nice.
where's I going? Oh yeah, John Lynch. The bottom line is, I think everyone needs to calm down. I think that you're using a bunch of Band-Aids to get through the first.
Hang on. Whoa. I don't think everyone needs to calm down. I think you just gotta focus your concern on other areas of the team. I don't think wide receiver in the passing game is necessarily what's going to take the biggest hit. I think you have every right to be concerned about the offensive line.
That's fair.
I think you have every right to be concerned about the defensive line, because outside of Nick Bosa, you've had CJ West flash, but he's already had a hyperextended knee is more of a forced injury. That's not one that's where you're scared it's going to linger into the season. That's just one where you awkwardly planted on your foot and you hyperextended your knee. But
yeah,
there's not much depth there. You got to worry about who else is going to play alongside Fred Warner at linebacker. Sure, Nick Martin looked great in a preseason game against the Raiders' third stringers. Cornerback, there's not a lot of depth there.
Whoa. To impersonate Ben Stiller. Steven, I hear you. There's definitely question marks on this team. I get it. They probably have the most question marks of any team in the NFC West. No doubt. I'm just talking about the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
That is, as far as like the worries, like Jake Moody and the wide receiver room, I get it. They're topics that get the fans going and everything. But again, you're talking about just putting a Band-Aid for the first 3 weeks of the season. Like,
where was the Ben Stiller quote there?
You ever seen like in movies where Ben Stiller's like, whoa.
Not when he's trying to calm things down. I see him doing that when he's going to get angry. I was thinking of Ben Stiller and Friends. You mentioned Ben Stiller and Friends. I thought you were going to go to Ben Stiller and Friends when he plays the guy with anger issues who dates Jennifer Aniston. You know, the guy who doesn't make room in his
Friends.
Oh, you've never seen that episode, dude?
No, come on.
Yeah,
now.
it's great.
You know I didn't watch Friends.
He's dating Jennifer Aniston, Rachel, and he's super nice, very calm, very cool guy. But then when Rachel leaves the room, he turns into this psycho. And they're in a theater, and there's there's these two guys, or this one guy accidentally sitting in their seat when they go to the theater. Rachel's in the bathroom. He's just standing there with Ross, and it's this really, really, really old guy. This is amazing from Ben Stiller. And he's like, excuse me, I think you're in our seats. And the guy's like, oh no, I don't think so. Ben Stiller's like, okay, well, can we check your ticket? And then check the ticket. And he goes, no, see, this is on the other side of the theater. These are our seats. And he goes, oh, I'm so sorry. My brain just sometimes doesn't compute when I have to read these things. And then Ben Stiller, he was like, oh yeah, well, compute this, you idiot. And then he rips the ticket up. What are you, a moron? You just think you can sit anywhere that you want in your little theater with your old little man self with the cane? Who do you think you are? And anyway, I thought you were going to go with that.
No, Ben Stiller does do that. But have you ever seen the guy? I don't know his name, but the guy that's on The Big Bang Theory, dude with the big schnoz. I don't know the show very well, but he dated the woman with the high pitched voice. You know what I'm talking about? Kind of looks like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, he went on Conan one time and he did his impressions. He does a really good Nicolas Cage, and his impression of Ben Stiller is whoa. I think it's pretty spot on.
So that's how we're getting there.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, back to the main thing we were talking about.
Tremendous.
The first week of the season, you're going to have Ricky Pearsall. I think you're going to have Jawan Jennings. Even if he doesn't sign a contract, I still expect Jawan Jennings to play. I do, just based on his character. I think that you have to look at a year ago when he was having these fantastic games, and he didn't want to talk about himself at all. He focused on the team. I don't think he's going to leave his team in a bad position, especially with how decimated the receiving room is right now, with Brandon Ayuk not being there for probably the first 6 weeks of the season, and Demarcus Robinson being out for the first 3 weeks. I do anticipate Jawan Jennings being there.
Or he could be much more injured than they're letting on. And this could be a Christian McCaffrey type situation.
It could be. It could be where this calf was a problem. And some people believe that he's just milking it to get the contract. I don't know what to believe at this point. All I know is when push comes to shove, I do expect Jawan Jennings to be out there week 1.
And we'll have more of an answer when they get to the roster cuts, right? I mean, everyone's saying that whether you go to David Lombardi, I think even Mayoko mentioned it. By the time they hit the roster cut day on August 26th, Tim Kawakami too, that's like the unofficial deadline for Jawan Jennings and when we'll really know what's going on, because they'll either get a deal done or they could place him on the physically unable to perform list if that calf is really that bad.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, if he goes on IR, that's going to be an issue. But I don't anticipate that right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they could get a deal done next week. They also, I could see it going into the regular season. Who knows? They pick up Sky Moore, and Sky Moore hasn't caught a pass since 2023. He was a guy that we talked about coming out of the draft, and he got that touchdown in the Super Bowl against the Eagles when the Chiefs won. He flashed at times, but really he's definitely been a disappointment. And the Chiefs have drafted wide receivers better than him in recent years, Xavier Worthy, obviously, and they just moved on. So when they pick him up, I understand that some people are like, that's it? That's all you're going to do? They were in on John Mechie. Like, Kyle has basically told everybody, I'm not going to go get Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper wants $8 million a year. I'm not going to go get Gabe Davis either. I don't need to get a guy that's cheap. For what we're going through right now with Brock making the money he's making and everything else, we need to get a wide receiver on an expiring deal on a rookie contract. So that's what they got. They got Sky Moore to do that. And Sky Moore probably will be your wide receiver 3 week 1. Then when everybody else comes back, once Demarcus Robinson comes back and once Brandon Ayuk's healthy, then he goes down the depth chart. And then I truly believe this. Once they're 100% healthy, I do think it's one of the better receiving cores they've had in quite some time. I know that people are going to be like, what about Debo? I think Debo was a great athlete and at times played good wide receiver, but not consistent enough. He wasn't a true wide receiver to me. When you have a healthy Brandon Ayuk and a healthy Jawan Jennings, and I expect Ricky Pearsall to be the guy that leads the team in catches and receiving yards, yeah, I do think they're going to be pretty solid. If Sky Moore is your wide receiver 4 or 5, and you can, add a, Robbie Chosen or Russell Gage or Isaiah Hodgins in the mix, I think they're going to be fine. I trust Kyle to scheme it up. He's done it with lesser wide receivers in the past.
Yeah.
So Matt Barrows also said that they might make another deal for a wide receiver. I don't know. We'll see about that. But to your point, Steven, I think it's a great one. Kyle finds other guys. He could run the ball, obviously, because he loves to run the football. He could throw to McCaffrey. He could throw to Kittle. He could throw to Juszczyk. I think they will be fine. I think people are focusing too much on the wide receivers. Let's see what happens on roster cutdown day, and let's see what happens week 1. Who knows? Everybody could be healthy at that point, besides, obviously, Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, maybe they could make, Sky Moore into like a wide receiver tight end tandem and make him the YY receiver on the field.
What?
He has 2 Y's in his name. I'm trying to make a joke out of it.
Well done.
Why? Why would I do that?
Yeah, thank you. God.
He has as many touchdowns as Y in his name.
Just 2?
He has 2.
Well, do you count the Super Bowl one? That'd be 3.
No, it's just 2, including the Super Bowl. There's 1 in the regular season, then 1 in the playoffs. Why?
Well, why are the Niner fans just up in arms over this? They'll be fine.
Why not?
Exactly. Also, Rocco Nuera going after George Kittle, calling him George Brittle. Good Lord. You Niner fans, man.
I don't think I've ever seen a 49er, besides maybe Fred Warner, who plays through as much pain as George Kittle.
Seriously, he was out there on the Super Bowl dealing with injuries.
I remember
George Kittle.
I think it was 2019 or 2021? I think it was 2019 where he like chipped a bone in his foot or something, and he was out for like a week. And then he came back against the Packers, then ended up like I was all skeptical of it. This is when the Niners were really good and like really, really good. And I think it was 2019. And then they opened the game. He has like a 67-yard touchdown or some crazy shit like that, all with a bone chip in his foot. I mean, maybe you could call it whatever you want, but you can't deny that the dude plays through injuries. At least he doesn't sit out.
Yeah, I mean, Skills has the right idea here. What's up, Skills? If anything, you should call him George Kittle because that dude is a hot commodity.
Wow.
Well done there. Well done there, Skills.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
My why joke.
Yeah. On the same level, I'd say. All right. Let's do our Just Your Divisions, man, with the AFC South preview. And now we're going to the South.
Quick. Sorry, I just thought of this.
All right, never mind. We're not doing that. Go ahead, Steven.
Can we give me praise for my little furniture analogy there? Because I think that was pretty spot on.
I'm sorry. We're going back to that now?
Yeah, dude.
You want me to give you praise for your furniture analogy?
That was pretty good. Huh?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Okay.
All right, so AFC South.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't go chairlift there.
Nah, there's nothing I could do with the chairlift. It was either going to be that or like a stew, like some sort of like a stew, like a pot of stew, with all the ingredients. You could add a little extra things here and there, but you have your main ingredients, what you need for a stew.
Analogies are definitely needed in sports talk radio. And I'm not even joking. Like, people use them all the time. I don't get them, though, really.
I'm trying to humanize it, Derek. Well, Derek, I mean, you don't have Derek, let's just say, let's just say you have a wall with nothing on them. You have an entire apartment with nothing on your walls.
Not true. Got my little dude poster in the back.
See, there you go. Okay, so you got the dude poster. That's your Ricky Pearsall. You don't really need any other posters. You don't really need any because you got the structure of it.
Wow. Now I understand the point you were making, Stephen.
Yeah, it's really good.
Thank you. All right, move.
You do need more utensils in your apartment, though. You know that, right?
Yeah, I will get more utensils. I definitely need to buy more, but I don't have inflatable furniture like Rockin' New Era and AJ Cruz has been telling the YouTube chat for a while. I don't have inflatable furniture.
No, you have my couch.
Yeah, and I thank you for giving me that. That's why I think it's fair if you ask about your mattress situation. All right, just your divisions, man. The AFC South. And I know we're going into the South now where I know, incredibly stupid. I know that we're going into the South divisions, which are kind of like, but yeah, we'll see. They could be exciting this year. Maybe not the NFC South, though. They're always like, nah. But let's start with the AFC. And let's start
analysis.
Thank you. Just nah. Yeah. So with the AFC South, let's go in the order of how these teams finished a year ago. Let's start with the Houston Texans. They added C.J. Gardner-Johnson in a trade from the Philadelphia Eagles to shore up their secondary. They got Jaden Higgins, who got the first fully guaranteed contract for a second-round pick. And, they added guys here or there, but they're really rolling with the same team a year ago, just like with exception to the offensive line. They traded away Laramie Tunsil. They picked up, I forget who their left tackle is at the moment, but yeah, the offensive line was a big issue a year ago. I wouldn't say it's improved that much, but they definitely cut some salary with Laramie Tunsil there.
Yeah.
To me, the biggest thing is, just as far as the Texans, they have a really underrated secondary. Derek Stingley Jr., in my opinion, might be the best cornerback in all of football. They got Corey Lassiter to his opposite side. They got Jalen Petrie and Jimmy Ward. And now they got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So their secondary is pretty good. And their pass rush might be the best in all of football with Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. But as far as the question marks, like when you think of the AFC South, it's usually, an afterthought, or the Texans, I should say. The Texans are an afterthought compared to the Chiefs or the Bills or the Ravens because they always finish fourth. Can they finish above those teams? Are they as good as those teams? I think they have more talent, honestly, as far as like across the board defensively and maybe wide receiver wise. But Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson just, carry those teams to an extra level. Man, maybe the Ravens actually have more talent than the Texans. I take that back. Maybe Texans have more talent than the Bills. But can C.J. Stroud, who took a step back a year ago in his sophomore season, can he carry this team to the next level? Can they finish second in the AFC? Can they finish third? Can they just finish better than the Chiefs, Bills, or Ravens? That remains to be seen, and I have my doubts. And also just will this offensive line hold up without Laramie Tunsil? And they fired Bobby Slowick, which I was surprised about, but I guess they did not have a good relationship between C.J. Stroud and Bobby Slowick, so they go with Nick Caley, who was with the L.A. Rams. So bottom line is, can they be better than what we expect, which I think the expectation is to win the division because how lackluster it is. But are they better than fourth in the AFC South or just the AFC once we get to the postseason?
I think yes, I agree with that because I don't really think there's any question that they're winning I don't think there's any question that they're winning the division. I just don't. They managed to last year, and you mentioned the offensive line, and that's my thing. And I'm kind of basing that off of what Mike Mayock said, because Mike Mayock was doing his quarterback tiers, and he's, everyone's doing quarterback tiers nowadays, but he essentially had CJ Stroud, I think, in the third tier, which is where a lot of quarterbacks were, like a ton. He put like four in the first tier. He had like 3 in the second, and then I don't know, like 10 in the third. I forgot what the tiers were. I forgot what the categories were.
Who's Mayock working for these days?
I think it was just independent. I think it was just like a podcast type thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and he mentioned Stroud, and he put Stroud in that third tier. He says he thinks he can get into that second tier, which is behind like the Mahomes, Allens, Burrows, and Jacksons. He thinks he can get into that, but he doesn't really know what last season was, considering he was just getting attacked. So I looked up the sack numbers, and he was sacked the second most times out of any quarterback besides Caleb Williams, who was sacked 68 times last year. 68.
So close. One off.
That's insane. Oh, that would have been something, wouldn't it?
I know.
But CJ Stroud 52, and then Geno Smith got sacked 50 times actually, which that's quite a lot. But what's he going to look like if he actually gets some protection, if that happens? And that left tackle that you're talking about is Cam Robinson.
Yes, Cam Robinson.
Yeah. So you got Cam Robinson, former Niner, Laken Tomlinson. Then on the right side, Titus Howard and Erante Ursary.
Yep.
Yeah, second round pick. So, if that rookie pans out and he actually gets some protection, I just think they're going to run away with it. And their defense is always going to be solid with D'Amico Ryans. So I feel very confident they're going to get in the NFC to the AFC South. But can they take the next step? I don't know. That may be a pretty general, vague way to put it, but I don't really have like a lot of question marks around the Texans this year. They're kind of, besides the Tunsil thing, they're fairly the same team.
Yeah. They made some upgrades, I think, wide receiver wise. They got away from Stephon Diggs, who tore his ACL. They acquired Christian Kirk. They, drafted some guys. But I do think they'll be better offensively. Defensively, I think they're pretty stout. I think they're probably one of the better units in all of football. Yeah, it's just a matter of, can he compete with the Chiefs? Can he compete with the Bills? Can he compete with the Ravens? Can he compete with the Bengals? That's the bottom line. I think you'll be hard pressed to find somebody out there that's going to not pick the Texans, the AFC South. It's just a matter of, can they be better than the teams that we expect to be better than them? The Bills, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and whatnot. All right, moving on.
I need to look up their depth chart from last year, but checking it out, they got old Jakob Johnson at fullback.
Oh, okay.
How about that?
One of your favorites.
A little bit of the Jakob.
Moving on. Let's go. What's that?
Don't yuck my Jakob.
It's not bad. Let's move on to the Colts, who have been in the news lately for their quarterback decision. This offseason, they acquired Charvarius Ward from the 49ers. They drafted Tyler Warren, the tight end from Penn State. They also signed Cam Bynum from the Minnesota Vikings as safety. And yeah, if you saw earlier this week, Daniel Jones was named the starter for the Colts, and that was to be expected with how much money he was making, a 1-year deal for $12 million. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought the reaction to that was a little too much of looking at who Daniel Jones was previously and not giving Daniel Jones a chance to revamp his career. I'm actually not mad at it. I know that they obviously spent what they spent on Anthony Richardson, and he should have developed to the point where he should beat Daniel Jones for the starting job. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of bullish on him. Anyway, continue.
Well, to be fair, Steven,
I'll give you my reasons why. Just like keep laying out do what you were going to do. Like you were going through it. They named the starting quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Daniel Jones started quarterback, and I think everybody was kind of guessing that was going to happen. Like I listened to enough media members be like, it's going to be Daniel Jones. And what you saw in the first preseason game, like they gave Anthony Richardson the benefit of the doubt. They started him. This like also in OTAs, I want to say Anthony Richardson was dealing with a shoulder injury or whatever. So most people were thinking, yeah, he's not going to get a lot of reps, so it probably will go to Daniel Jones. But when you saw that first preseason game against the Ravens and Anthony Richardson just gets pummeled and hurts his finger, but really you see everybody on social media be like quarterbacks like Chase Daniel be like, that was on him. He should have known that protection was going to be weak there, and he should have got the ball out. If he's making those mistakes already in year 3, then that's a problem.
Right.
And yeah, I think that they wanted to make it work with Anthony Richardson. Like most GMs and coaches that took a quarterback in the first round, they would give him the benefit of the doubt to start the season. And then if it's not panning out, bench him and go to Daniel Jones. A year ago, they did that with Anthony Richardson again, where they had Joe Flacco start some games. They basically want to save their jobs. I get it. Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard are on the hot seat. Chris Ballard's been there for years. Don't even know if he's ever been to the postseason. Maybe one time. I think that's it with Frank Reich that 1 year. But ever since then, they've, since Andrew Luck, my new best friend, retired, and they've gone to Phillip Rivers and Jacoby Brissett, and so I can't even think of who else.
I hate you for that. I am so jealous.
You should be. But
unbelievable.
And I got
out of it. Really happy to be on with Dirty Work. I love it. All right.
He didn't even say the show's name.
Let's get dirty. So
hey, by the way, I got rid of those flip phones. I have two iPhones now. I really don't like it though.
You got to ask him about Andrew Luck's book club, please. What
was the book club?
He had a book club. I don't remember. It was as soon as he retired. He's like, I'm Andrew Luck of the Andrew Luck Book Club. We are kicking it off with a dog named Sippy. Love him. Hey, everyone, happy June.
Yeah, I do need to ask him, though. I'm assuming he has a good sense of humor about it, but I do need to ask him if he's into Captain Andrew Luck, the whole Twitter account.
Of course he is. He went on Thursday Night Football and did the whole
That's
costume.
Right. Yeah.
God, man. Should be me.
I'll let you ask a question one time.
Well, I'm kind of, I probably can get him. I am in the media, and I do have a Stanford contact. Anyway, continue.
By all means, sir. Although I don't know if he can with your station. That's the whole thing.
That's a good point. God, you guys always do that.
Just write me some questions, Steven. It'll be fine.
Okay.
With the Colts, they've gone year to year with their quarterbacks. They failed on Matt Ryan. They tried to get Anthony Richardson, who you were all about, Steven, for the Raiders. And then I was I don't know about him. I think it's going to be a lot of learning for him. It's going to be he's just raw. He's a raw, unproven talent. Kind of the same deal with Trey Lance, where you draft him based on potential, but not really what he accomplished at the collegiate level. So I totally get why they're going with Daniel Jones, because not to mention they're trying to save their jobs, but also, unfortunately, Jim Irsay passed away, and now his daughter is running things, and maybe she wants to change things at the end of the year, and you got to start winning. So I get why they're going with Daniel Jones. I also wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility. I know that Shane Steichen said he's the starter for the rest of the season. I'm not so sure about that. If they lose, they could very well go back to Anthony Richardson. I don't think it's any different than a year ago where Bryce Young started the first couple of games for the Panthers. Then he was benched for Andy Dalton, and he came back, and now he's their starter going forward. I think they're going to try to do everything in their power to keep Anthony Richardson. I know his agent had a dumb statement a couple of days ago where he was like, "This is disappointing." I forget the exact thing. I'll pull it up here in a second. But, yeah, you shouldn't get butthurt about this. He got beat fair and square. They're going forward with Daniel Jones. And that's just the biggest question mark to me is, can Anthony Richardson get his job back? Is he going to stay with the Colts? And can Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard win enough games to keep their job?
So here's why I'm bullish on the Colts.
Okay.
And here's why I'm interested in Daniel Jones. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is going to turn into some Pro Bowler and have a Sam Darnold type of turnaround. All right. I'm not saying that, but I just think everyone's quick to assume he will be the Daniel Jones of old. And here are 3 reasons why I think he will be a lot better than we've seen him in years past. Number 1, has an offensive line. Colts offensive line is at least pretty darn good. The Giants offensive line, when he was there, really stunk. And that one time when they went to the playoffs was first off when Brian Dable was there and Saquon Barkley. And that brings me to number 2, where I think he's got a good offensive play caller. I think he's got a really good team around him. I think Tyler Warren was a great addition. Michael Pittman has some left to be desired as a number 1 receiver, but I think if you pair him up with Alec Pierce, who is a great deep threat, might not be great with Daniel Jones, but who knows? And also Jonathan Taylor, I think he's got solid pieces at the skill positions around him. In number 3, this is one that I haven't seen much of, Derek. I feel pretty confident in this one. He's going to be playing in a dome a lot of this season. Obviously half of his games because Indy's in a dome, but you have one in Houston. You go down the list. You're going to be playing the Titans, Rams, no. Home. Chargers, no. Steelers, no. Chiefs, no. Jags, no. Okay, Seahawks, no. So literally the Texans is going to be the only other dome that he plays in outside of the Colts. But point being...
That kind of blew up on your face, huh?
Not really, because he's played in only 5 dome games in his entire career. And we've never seen him play inside a dome before. So I just think that with all of that added, the only person who can truly ruin like his chances here, it seems everything's set up. Plus he's got a solid defense. It's going to be him. And so I think this is really, I think he knows it too. I think this is like his truly last chance to prove like, all right, I can be something in the NFL. Sam Darnold got his opportunity with the Vikings, and look what he parlayed that into. I think Daniel Jones, again, I'm not going to say he's going to have one of the best seasons where he's going to lead the Colts to what was their record? Like 15-2, whatever it was, 14-3. What was the Vikings record last year?
14-3, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to say they're going to lead him to that, but I think they can impress some people. So I still think the Texans are going to win the division, but I think the Colts are going to be right there behind them. I really do.
I'm kind of there with you, and I think that he's going to fit with Shane Steichen's scheme because he likes mobile quarterbacks. He's not Jalen Hurts, but they can use him in a similar fashion.
Yeah.
It's funny though you bring up Sam Darnold, Steven, because you had the same skepticism about Sam Darnold going to the Vikings, and I was like, he could be really good, and you're like, we've seen Sam Darnold, we know what we have in him.
Yeah, lesson learned.
Fair enough. Okay.
It's called growth, Derek.
I would know nothing about that. Yeah, I hear you on that stuff. I don't think that Daniel Jones will have a resurgence like Sam Darnold, but I think it can be similar. Not the same stats, but similar. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he struggles and they go back to Anthony Richardson. So,
yeah.
Just to go back to the Anthony Richardson agent quote, this was after he was benched and, named the second string guy. Trust is a big factor, and that is, at best, questionable right now. Anthony came back and made improvements in the areas he needed to improve his game. And by all accounts, he had a great camp. Look, I understand you're defending your client. This is a terrible quote. Terrible. And if I was Anthony Richardson, I would tell my agent, don't ever talk again. Like, you're making me look bad. Like, I'm pouty and I'm bitching that I didn't get the starting job. I'm not promised anything in this league. And now you're making me sound whiny. Don't do that again. Until Anthony Richardson requests a trade, just stay out of this. I didn't win the job. I could get it back easily. We'll see, or maybe not easily, but we'll see what happens. I thought this was really poorly done by his agent. I think that's awful. May show up as my jackass of the week on Sunday.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's just stupid to do that. So yeah, I don't think it's the end of Anthony Richardson in Indy. I think they could be a pretty good team. I think that defense is set up pretty well. They, sure up some things by getting Javarius Ward and Cam Bynum. I like DeForest Buckner. They brought in Lou Anarumo from the Bengals. Like you said, Steven, they have one of the best running backs in football in Jonathan Taylor. They got some weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah, I do think they're set up to be a pretty good team. It's all just contingent on the quarterback.
Totally.
All right, let's move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Duval, where now Liam Cohen is the lead guy. And let's just talk about really the biggest attraction on this team. Yeah, they made some additions here or there, but the main focus that I think most national audiences will have with the Jacksonville Jaguars will be Travis Hunter and what the Jaguars gave up to get him. They gave up a first, a second, a fourth, a 2026 first-round pick, all for this guy that could potentially play both ways. And everybody talks about him. Even Devontae Adams was asked about him on a podcast and said, I don't think he could do this. I think most veteran NFL players are skeptical, and I don't blame them because it's so straining on your body, especially at those positions, to be a wide receiver going full sprint, up against a cornerback, which he will become to cover the likes of him. I think it's going to be very difficult. But am I going to totally say that it's not possible? No, it could be possible, but I wonder at what extent. And I wonder how hurt he'll be playing all these snaps. I hope not, but, I think it's Gladstone is the GM. Like, I thought he was a little ridiculous with the way that he was describing Travis Hunter. It was like the way he's able to play football on both sides of the ball. Shouldn't that inspire us to be just better people in life? And I'm like, all right, calm down. But yeah, when you have a player of this caliber, yeah, it's definitely going to rejuvenate your franchise. And yeah, the question mark. There's still the question's still out on the jury's still out on Trevor Lawrence if he's going to be. They paid him, but is he going to live up to expectations of being one of the bigger quarterback draft prospects of our time? And
yeah,
just living up to that. So as far as the Jaguars, yeah, those are the question marks. Can Travis Hunter actually play both sides of the ball? Can Trevor Lawrence live up to expectations? And is Liam Cohen a leader of men? I think that he'll be a good play caller, but a lot of people have a
leader of men stuff. Here we go.
The leader of men. There is a difference. There's a difference.
I hear you say that on KMBR, and I want to punch my radio.
Why? It's true.
I hear that. I've heard that so much over the last 3 years. Get it, Derek. I mean, maybe the listeners haven't heard that, but I have.
No, I'm sure they want to punch their radios as well. But yeah, I think that Liam Cohen could be a really good play caller. And some people have an issue with the way that he left the Buccaneers. Whatever. He wanted to be a head coach. I get it. But can he command a room? The same question marks we have right now with Mike McDaniel. Is he more like Mike, or did he learn from, his mentor and Sean McVay of how to be a really good play caller and also, galvanize the locker room? That'll be
like
the question.
Mike.
Yes.
A little like Mike too. Liam Cohen and Mike McDaniel. Hell yeah.
Was there a like Mike too?
No. I'm saying that this is the like Mike 2.
No. There is a like Mike 2 that went straight to DVD.
Oh, no, there is?
Yeah, without Bow Wow, of course.
Maybe we should get our best straight to DVD sequels because MVP 2, most vertical primate is there for me. Anyway, continuing on. Jaguars. What, you never saw that?
There's a first one?
Oh, yeah, there's MVP most valuable primate where he plays hockey. And it's a little chimpanzee or an orangutan who plays hockey.
Yeah, I remember that movie, but you're saying the second one is like a straight to video one. Wouldn't the first one be that case too, or that was in theaters?
I don't remember the first one, but the second one went straight to DVD, and I watched it all the time. Al Borland was in it, and he played an owner of a skate shop. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, Jacksonville Jaguars. Love Al Borland. I'm so skeptical. Okay, Travis Hunter's this two-way player, great, but I don't think they need some player who's just, all right, he's good at wide receiver, let's get him in for a few snaps there. He's good at corner, let's get him in for a few snaps there. I think what they need is a true number 2 receiver behind Brian Thomas Jr. or a true number 1 cornerback, which they don't have. They were one of the worst passing defenses in the league last year. They were 28th in efficiency, I think, is what I was reading earlier as I was, brushing up on my AFC South knowledge. They haven't really done much to beef that up, except, I guess, adding Eric Armstead is the only thing. So I just don't know if Travis Hunter really gives them what they need. So, do I think they're going to be much better because of it? No, I think the Jaguars are in a rebuilding year here, and I think their win total somewhere at like 7.5 or something. I'm inclined to take like the under on that, just because I don't know what they have. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to have another terrific season, but I just think defensively, on paper, they actually look good in the front 7, but beyond that, it's not like it was during the Doug Marrone days, when Jalen Ramsey was leading that ferocious defense at the time, which is just crazy to think about now. Shout out Hooters. I ate 22 wings during that AFC Championship round, Gridiron Gala.
Good time.
I just think if they're going to use Hunter, I think make him exclusively play at one position. I just don't think it does them much good just to, play him as a part-time receiver and a part-time corner. Like, they need more than that. Although the thing that I'm interested in is what Liam Cohen is going to do with the 2 running backs. What's he going to do with Travis Etienne and was it Tank Bigsby, I think is the other guy?
Tank Bigsby, baby.
Yeah. What's he going to do with those 2? Because he obviously made it work in Tampa, where he somehow got the most out of Bucky Irving, and then Rachaad White they were a solid 1-2 punch last year. Can he do that same thing? And are they going to score a ton of points? I think they could. And I think obviously Liam Cohen's going to do what he does, but I just don't see that defense getting much better this year, especially when your first round pick is just, a part-time player on that side of the ball.
Yeah, they do have one of the better pass rushers in all of football in Josh Allen Hines, and they have Trayvon Walker, who they drafted first overall a couple years ago. But there were some talks that they may move off from him.
Yeah.
But that was in the offseason. They're going to roll with him as the, opposite pass rusher.
I think you can make a case, like, I'm not saying he's a bust or anything, but you can make a case that Trayvon Walker is, how do I put this, the least talked about number 1 overall pick ever. Like, no one talks about Trayvon Walker as a number 1 overall pick anymore. No one.
Well, we'll bring up the next team. Cam Ward is not talked about a lot lately, but he probably will be.
He will be. He will because he's a solid quarterback. But I'm just saying, Trayvon Walker, like, no one talks about him. Like, if you ask who was the number 1 pick in that draft, you'd be hard pressed to say that. Who's the 2nd overall pick in that year?
Aiden Hutchinson.
There you go. Like, you'd think Aiden Hutchinson when you think of that draft. You wouldn't think Trayvon Walker. Trayvon or Trevon?
Trayvon.
Trayvon Walker. There you go.
Yeah, and Trent Baalke was the guy that pulled the trigger on that one. And that might be another case where, he gets sacks, but it's not what you expect out of a first overall pick. He's not a game wrecker, the likes of, I don't know, name the best pass rushers in football. He's not even on that list.
The likes of Aiden Hutchinson?
Yeah, exactly. Like, Aiden Hutchinson's probably going to get a contract here in the next couple of weeks, and Trayvon Walker won't.
Yeah.
Like, they're talking about potentially trading him or, picking up his 5th-year option, but definitely not giving him a contract lately. So,
yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing with the Jaguars, is Trevor Lawrence and Travis Hunter. And, they're appealing because of those 2 guys, but everything else, they're not going to be talked about. But, Travis Hunter is definitely fascinating. I do wonder what's going to go down with that. And I have a hard time believing he'll be able to do both, but I want to see it. So, I don't know what's going to happen with that defense. I don't know. Like, I think the offense will score points, but this is going to be a stepping stone season where they want to build on something bigger. But at the same time, with the draft capital they gave up to get Travis Hunter, they got to win. they're not going to have a lot of resources in the draft next season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not great. Trivia question. You probably know the answer to this. Do you know who Trevor Lawrence's backup is?
Yes, it's Nick Mullins.
God, yeah, damn it.
Because their offensive coordinator, Grant Udinsky,
Ooh.
I think.
Oh, no, Udinsky.
Was in Minnesota, so he knows Nick Mullins.
All
right. Last on the list, everybody's going to love me pronouncing this team's name, the Tennessee Titans. So they got Cam Ward, and that's the biggest question mark. Did you see the clip during training camp where someone asked the new general manager and the head coach, Brian Callahan, so is this team ready to win a Super Bowl this season? And they're like, I mean, that's the goal, but, baby steps. Like, it was a ridiculous question. The Titans, yeah, they've definitely been a franchise that have gone through it since they fired Mike Vrabel. Like, their biggest player was Derrick Henry, and they got by with Ryan Tannehill, and they were making the playoffs and went to the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs. But now they're definitely in obscurity. Like, no one talks about them at all. I understand, like, no one thinks that Cam Ward is a sexy topic right now because in comparison to years past, you had Caleb Williams going to Chicago. They're talking more about Shedeur Sanders over Cam Ward right now. I get it. I do love Cam Ward. I liked him a lot when I watched Miami a year ago. He definitely carried them. Like, that defense sucked. And he was, that's usually the case it is, with college football sometimes. But that guy had to pull wins out of his ass where he was, the game against Cal. Did you go to that game, Steven? I think you did.
Yep.
That was an amazing game, but it was all Cam Ward. And, they won that game like 39-38. So this guy can put a team on his back. And I like all of his, his phrases this offseason when they asked him, what do you do now between OTAs and training camp? He's like, I'm just going to, hang out and throw the fuck out of the ball. Like, this guy's focused on football. So I don't have any expectations. I don't expect them to be good. I expect them to be better than what they were a season ago. But it's all about Cam Ward. Is this guy going to be the next great quarterback in the NFL?
They are much in the same position, I think, as the Jaguars were when they took Trevor Lawrence in 2021, where you might not see a season as bad as that one. But I think you're going to see there are signs where this Cam Ward guy can be a superstar. And then obviously you remember what Trevor Lawrence looked like in his second year. That second year is what pretty much got him that $55 million contract. So I think that the question is, can Cam Ward sustain that? So I think that's what you're going to see, like in the big picture of it all. But yeah, the Titans are just kind of meh. I really don't know what you can look to besides kind of the emergence of Cam Ward. I guess, we're going to have the fun game where people are going to see Tyler Lockett and you're going to be like, oh, I forgot that he was playing for that team.
Yeah.
So, other than that, Jeffrey Simmons is one of my favorite players. I know that, but yeah, I think this is just a total rebuild. I don't think there's anything else you can look to.
Yeah, it's baby steps. It's, Cam Ward will basically, can he have the impact that CJ Stroud had with the Texans?
Yeah,
can he flash one season and be like, wow, this guy's pretty incredible? And then, in free agency, guys go to play with Cam Ward and then they become a team. That's the whole goal of the Titans. No, like if those two guys, the brass of the Titans were, being honest when asked, are you going to win a Super Bowl this season? They're like, no, we're not even trying to. We're just trying to grow this quarterback. We had the first overall pick last year. What do you expect? We're not going to the Super Bowl. Come on now.
Jesus.
And that's our preview of the AFC South.
I think that was good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. All right. Let's finish up with a little I Give It Til. So this is something we did in years past, or I think just a year ago, actually. And we give a scenario and we give the time frame of when this actually is going to go down. So do you want to start, Steven, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I got 3 of them, or I got 4 of them rather.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but we might have the same questions.
God damn, you hog.
We didn't really plan this out ahead of time of how many we were doing.
That's true. Yeah.
All right,
I tried racking my brain. I couldn't really think of any. All right. Well, this is also just based off of what I saw tonight in the handful of snaps. I literally give it till week 2 before the Giants start thinking, not the San Francisco Giants, to the New York Giants start thinking, oh, we need to start this rookie over Russell Wilson. I literally give it till week 2. Jackson Dart looks so good in this preseason. And if Russell Wilson has a couple of missteps, Brian Dable's going to be looking at that shiny object that he has over there sitting on the sideline and wondering, oh, is this the time? Like, if obviously Russell Wilson connected on that deep ball to, I forgot who it was to. You remember that? Who was the receiver on that?
Yeah, last week.
Yeah. I mean, it was like,
it was
80 yards.
Colin Johnson.
It was 80 yards or something.
Yeah.
It was unreal. It's like Russell Wilson still got it. And maybe he could do that with Malik Neighbors. But how much can you really do that consistently? I think Jackson Dart is just going to be much better. And I'm not going to say they're going to immediately go to Jackson Dart in week 2. But I think after week 2, I give it till then when Brian Dable really starts to ponder actually starting as rookie.
Yeah, it's a mixed thing where they sign Russell Wilson, but they don't really owe him anything. And they need to save their jobs, very much like Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard. Same deal with Brian Dable and Joe Shane. I was looking at the Giants' schedule. And this is hard. Like, they don't have a bye week until week 14. Same thing as the Niners, but that's so late. And their schedule is not easy for a team that only won 3 games a year ago. They start the season at Washington, then go to Dallas, then home. This is their home games against the Chiefs, against the Chargers, and then they're home against the Saints. Or sorry, they go to New Orleans. I'll give it till week 6 that Jackson starts playing.
Ooh, so he'll start playing then?
Or starting, I guess.
There we go. Okay.
Like, if they're 0-5, if they lose to the Saints, then yeah, they'll start Jackson Dart on a short week against the Philadelphia Eagles, which may not be ideal, but beggars can't be choosers. Their backs up against the wall there. I can't see them winning a game the first 5 weeks of the season. They can actually beat the Saints, but at Washington to lose to Jaden Daniels, the Cowboys are going to be better than expected. Home against the Chiefs, home against the Chargers. Yeah, they can easily go 0-4. If they don't beat the Saints, they'll make a change. They'll go to Jackson Dart.
All right.
All right, what's your next one?
You go.
Okay. When does Trey Hendrickson? I give it till when for Trey Hendrickson getting his contract. Do you want me to give mine first, or you go?
You can go.
Okay. I give it till the Tuesday after Labor Day until Trey Hendrickson gets his contract. I think that, like I said before, I'm not buying. Like, I think all of these guys right now, Terry McLaurin, Trey Hendrickson, Micah Parsons, they all get their deals. I think Trey Hendrickson is so close to getting that deal done with the second year being guaranteed. He wants to be in Cincinnati. They really need him. Even Joe Burrow said after the Monday night game where Joe was inexplicably running backwards with his offensive line. I understand that. Just go down, Joe, like Joe Buck said. Mm-hmm. We don't really get things done until a couple weeks before the season starts.
Yeah.
Like, they started talking to Jamar Chase a year ago, and that bled into the season. Joe Burrow didn't get his contract until opening night when the Chiefs were playing the Lions, I think, 2 years ago. I think they do get it done. I think that all these owners are stubborn, and they want their players to crack, and no one really does anything until a deadline. So I think that's when the Bengals start showing Trey Hendrickson the cash. So I'll say the Tuesday after Labor Day.
I think Hendrickson has been, for all that's happened, I think he's been behaving like commendably for a guy who's holding in for a contract. Because if you look at videos, he's like working with these dudes. He's like coaching them up. This isn't just a regular hold in where he's like working out to the side. Like, he's interacting with the players. Honestly, man, I just give it till Sunday. I give his holdout till Sunday. I think they get it done after their last preseason game. They're just like, look, man, we're going to focus on the team right now. We got this last thing here, and then we'll evaluate. But the first order of business before we actually cut down the roster is to get you paid, because you are the priority. So I think Sunday is when that's going to go down. So I give his holdout till then.
Sunday. All right, you go, Steven.
All right. I don't think he's going to get benched. I don't think the Steelers can do anything. But I give it till week 7 when the Steelers are playing the Packers in prime time. I give it till then when Aaron Rodgers starts blaming his receivers and then saying all these cryptic things about his team after the game because the defense is so good and the offense can't get rolling.
Now, why do you say that? And why the Packers game? Is it because he's playing his own team?
Because he's going to have a lot of pressure on him. And once he underperforms, which I think he will, especially against his old team, yeah, that's where the frustration is going to mount. And I think it's going to blow over into where we make a ton, where ESPN, FS1, they're going to be talking about that from the A block through whatever block on television. So I give it till week 7 before Aaron Rodgers really starts to where his blood starts to boil when it comes to his team, because he rarely takes accountability. He usually blames others.
You know what? I give it till the offseason when he talks to Pat McAfee and retires officially.
Wow.
I think he's going to be on his best behavior with Mike Tomlin. I don't think he respected Robert Saleh or Jeff Ulbrich at all. I think he respects the hell out of Mike Tomlin. I think Mike Tomlin would be the type of guy to be like in a press conference, we don't tolerate that stuff here. All right, Aaron? We don't do that. So I don't think it's going to happen. And I think he's going to play fairly well. Do I think he's going to throw 4 touchdowns in a game? No. I think they'll do the bare minimum offensively, and they'll get by on the defense. I don't see him throwing anybody under the bus. Now, if they sign Amari Cooper, that's a different story. Coop has been known to be soft, and I would love to see what happens when Amari Cooper doesn't run to the red line like Mike Williams a year ago. I think that there's better options for the Steelers wide receiver-wise. I understand why they would sign Amari Cooper. I don't think Amari Cooper is the best quarterback for Aaron Rodgers. Or I don't think that Amari Cooper is a good wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers because he's so detailed. You have to do things a certain way. I could see Amari Cooper getting under Aaron Rodgers' skin.
Brutal.
Yeah. All right. You already gave yours with Micah Parsons. I'll give mine. I give it till the Monday, so basically Labor Day. I give it till Labor Day until Micah Parsons signs a contract with the Cowboys. I know right now everything looks bad. He's literally going on social media right now and posting a collage of him waving goodbye. He's so pissed because of what Jerry Jones said. I don't think they filmed it today, but whenever he did that interview with Michael Irvin, he's disrespecting him. He's disrespecting his agent. But this is all just negotiation. And I think that Jerry Jones will grovel and he'll plead and he'll beg and he'll get Micah Parsons back to play football before the season starts, because at the end of the day, Jerry Jones cares about himself and the media and how the Cowboys are perceived, but he also wants to win. So I do believe that Jerry Jones will, I guess, be the bigger man and call David Mulugeta and get a deal done. And yeah, I think this will be not that big of a deal anymore.
I'm making this solely just because of that Cowboys episode that I just watched.
You said week 3 after the first 2 weeks of the season?
Yeah, you said they're going to lose the Giants are going to lose the first 5 games. I say no, because they're going to beat the Cowboys, and that's when Jared's going to be like, "Look, Micah, I need you playing here in Dallas, Micah." And then he's going to get.
If he calls him Micah,
and then he's going to get the deal done, and then he's going to be like, "You're happy with that? You're happy with that, ain't you?" Because that's what he said to Emmitt Smith after he gave him the contract. That was awkward.
I'm happy with that. You gave me a contract. Of course I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Did you see today?
Dude, they had the press conferences from the Cowboys thing when he was giving Emmitt Smith the contract, and there was in front of all the media and literally in the microphone. He's like, "You happy now? You happy with that?"
Son of a bitch, make me look stupid in front of the media like this. Yeah. Well, speaking of which, today he goes on Fox News to promote the Netflix documentary.
Nice. And
the guy asks him, What's the latest with Micah? And he goes, well, the thing that Michael needs to understand, he calls him Michael. And he's like, this is a team sport. It's like, yeah, Micah knows that, dude. And also, not to go off on a whole thing here, but Micah was willing to get this deal done months ago where he wouldn't be the highest paid pass rusher in all of football. So, yeah, he's definitely, in my opinion, doesn't look selfish. Like he could have signed him for less than $40 million. So, yeah. I think, though, this will be a big deal tomorrow. First Take will be all over this. And then come Labor Day, they sign him, and he's playing week 1 against the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, sorry. Your turn.
I got one more.
Okay.
And this has nothing to do with football.
Okay, that's fine.
I give it till September 21st, and that's when the San Francisco Giants, specifically Buster Posey, will truly consider whether they should part ways with Bob Melvin. I think that's when you're going to see that date.
Say it again, sorry.
I'm giving it till September 21st, and that's when Buster Posey's truly – I don't think he's considering firing Bob Melvin right now. I just don't. I think the team's got too many issues. But I'm waiting till September 21st, and then he'll truly consider that, because that is the series finale against the Dodgers, and that's the last time they play them this season. And if they perform like they did against the Dodgers, like say they have against the Padres this week, and they just get absolutely thumped, then I think Buster Posey will seriously start taking it into consideration, because I was looking at the candidates going into next year and who's available. And there are a lot of connections that Buster Posey has to some of these guys, to some of the leading coaching candidates going into next season. I'm not saying it's true. I just think that's what's going to happen. I don't think that Willie Adames thing was anything. I think that's just people who hate Bob Melvin trying to search for anything they can to go against him. But the results are the results. And something needs to change, because it's obviously the players aren't going to change because of how many contracts they've given out already in the core. So I give it till then. I really do.
So you're saying, though, that he considers it, not that he actually does it.
Not that he does it. No, I can't say that. I can't say that definitively. And like, it sucked that Elliot Ramos's thing was taken out of context, and I like Bob. I'm not, I don't have anything against Bob, but the results are the results, man. And Buster Posey cannot like what he's watching.
Of course not. I give it till,
because you just know that, like, I just think the Dodgers is like that one series where it's like, okay, if you really look like not just the little brother, like the baby brother in this rivalry, in this division, got to move on.
I think it already happened.
You think so?
You could say, yeah, the Dodgers is, the series where that determines everything. I think the series against the Rays at home, I think the series against the Nationals, I think the series just right now against the Padres that ended today, their lifeless attitude, the series last week against the Padres. Yeah, no, dude, I think it's already on his mind. It's just a matter of if he's going to pull the trigger this offseason. Now, they're not going to fire him before the season ends like Gabe Kapler and have, everybody loves Pat Burrell and everybody Matt Williams on this coaching staff right now. So I highly doubt that. And yeah, there's some names out there that have connections to Buster Posey. Like I told you, and I'll talk to Kerry Crowley more about this. He believes that there might have been something in the contract why they had to pick it up that day in particular.
Right.
But yeah, I think that Buster's looking at everything. That's why, basically the rest of the season is going to be an evaluation season. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if Bryce Eldridge gets called up. Like, we should do that. I give it till then when Bryce Eldridge gets called up. Yeah. Carson Wisenhunt needs to come up out of necessity because Lana Roop got hurt last night, and then they were hoping to see some stuff from, I love this name, Blade Tidwell, but he's hurt as well. Blazer. But yeah, no, I think that it's already been on Buster Posey's mind.
Mark DeRosa, Craig Albernaz, David Bell, former Giants catcher Mike Matheny, and another catcher, Brad Osmus. All of them are available. Oh, and Skip Schumacher. I think he's going to take all of those into account.
Now, with DeRosa, that's interesting because he's never managed before. I know he has the WBC, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's definitely like throwing it out there just because I like him.
Fair enough. All right, for my I give it till Sunday that Terry McLaurin signs his contract.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It sounds like it's on the verge of that. I think Jaden Daniels caught up with Diana Rossini today and was like, I think it's going to happen pretty soon here. And if you trust my guy, what are you looking at?
Oh,
Skills?
God. What?
Skills?
No. sorry. I went to my homepage on Twitter, and this was the first thing that popped up. I'm sorry. I got distracted, but you got to understand. Just look at Jameis.
7-yard touchdown connection right there.
Oh,
No. He said no.
That's what I'm talking about. He knew where the camera was.
Right.
I honestly was expecting Jackson Dart's fingers to end up in his mouth.
Anyway, continue. Give it till what?
I give
Sunday.
it till
Terry McLaurin.
Sunday that Terry McLaurin gets his deal done. And if
Yeah.
you follow my guy, people are saying his name, kind of. They're alluding to him. The Florios, the Rappaports, the Schefters. Maybe not Schefter. He would never give this guy any shine. My guy Ricky Scoops, the dog. He's well tapped into all this info. And he says that Terry McLaurin's gonna get a contract for $30 a year coming up in the next couple of days here.
All right, Ricky Scoops.
Yep, I trust the dog. All right, real quick, last few ones. I give it till week 8 when Joe Flacco is no longer the starter for the Cleveland Browns. Nah, maybe sooner actually. I'll say week 6. Week 6.
It's a good one.
Same thing as Jackson Dart and Russell Wilson.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but and I'm not saying sorry to you. I'm more saying sorry to the people that are trying to diffuse this whole Dylan Gabriel thing and Shador Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
His whole, I'm a competitor, not an entertainer. Even if that wasn't directed at Shador, that mindset, that quote had Dan Lanning written all over it. That's Dan Lanning and what he used for Oregon against Colorado. So even though that wasn't directed at Shador, that's where it stemmed from. Was them going against Colorado and saying, we don't go for clicks, we go for wins, right? Like that's what it's all about. And I think even though Dylan Gabriel's comments might not have been directed at Shador, well, there's a hint of context to it, and Shador was involved in that. So apropos, whatever the term is, ipso facto, yeah, it was kind of about Shador.
Squid pro crow, whatever it is. Yes. Okay, very good point, Stephen. I agree with you on that. I don't think he directly was trying to call out Shador, but yes, Dan Lanning was back in the day with Colorado. Now I ask you, did you come up with that, or did your buddy who goes to Oregon come up with that? Or
No, I did. I sent him that, and I was like, that's Dan Lanning. Lanning is saying that, not Dylan Gabriel. So no, that was me.
Okay, fair enough. I give it till, I'll say, week 7 for Daniel Jones being the starter. I do think that Anthony Richardson gets his job back.
Wow. I had that earlier, but then I took a look at it as I was doing the little AFC South deep dive, and I was like, you know what? I'm kind of becoming a Daniel Jones believer. So
there you go.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that it could happen, but maybe not. So I had that in the Give It Till, but I erased it.
Does Danny Dimes work in Indy? Because I know it was more of a New York thing. Danny Dimes. But Danny Dimes in Indy could still work.
I think so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, lastly, I give it till 2028 that we get a sequel for The Naked Gun.
God damn.
3 years.
Got to wait 3 years to see if this shit comes to fruition?
Yeah, I guess so. I do think we're getting one, though.
What?
I do think we're getting one, though. I do.
I can't wait till 2028 when the sequel comes out. See? I told you.
No. We have to wait till then. It'll be in development, in 2027. So then I'll say, you see, in 2 years.
Didn't you do this the last time?
For Naked Gun? Probably not.
No, you did a Give It Till, and it was till a couple of years away. It's I'm not going to remember that.
Yeah, fair enough. But I will. And God knows we'll still be doing this podcast then.
Chillin' dog.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Steven. That's all I got.
I mean, me too. Shoot.
All right then.
I mean, college football starting up soon, I guess. Like week 0 or whatever this weekend.
You excited? You gonna get into it now?
No, I mean I can't pay attention on Saturdays. I mean I'm gonna try and watch as many games as possible. I'm very interested to see what Cal looks like though, because they are starting their true freshman, Sagapula Tele, Jaron Kiave Sagapula Tele, who threw for like, God, I think it was like 10,000. It's like 10,630 yards or something like that in Hawaii, and he set like the Hawaiian passing record all time in high school. And he's their first true freshman starter since since Jared Goff. And I saw earlier like Ron Rivera going off on the East Bay and how it's just not into football anymore. And man, so I'm interested in that. Obviously, there's the Stanford angle too. I just don't think Stanford's like very good. Like
Frank Reich. You never know.
They named Ben Goldbranson their starter, who's like this guy who played like 12 games for Oregon State over the last 5 years. I don't really know what to expect from Stanford this season.
Yeah.
Definitely a rebuilding year. AJ Cruz. I wonder if Nice Guy grew up playing cricket. I did not. I grew up playing baseball, and I was called a wimp because we used gloves. And my granddad tried getting me into cricket. I could hit the shit out of the ball, but I'm so bored. It's such a boring game. Like I tried watching it once, and you're just like, what the hell is going on? This is just. They have tea time in the middle of the games, Derek. Tea time.
I've heard.
Tea time for break. It's a real thing. So my granddad tried, but to answer your question, AJ, no, I did not.
Alas, what could have been, Stephen?
Yeah. Although, I'll say this, AJ, since you seem to love making fun of British people, and I think you would get a kick out of it, AJ, and I think any of the listeners would. And I think you would too, Derek. But you ever seen Green Street Hooligans?
No.
So it's with Elijah Wood and Charlie Hunnam, the guy from Sons of Anarchy. And Charlie Hunnam, maybe the worst accent in movie history. He tries playing like this Cockney British guy. And they're hooligans, soccer hooligans. They're basically gangs that are affiliated but unaffiliated with soccer teams. And this one I watched was called The Football Factory. And they say that Green Street Hooligans is more Hollywood, whereas The Football Factory is more about grit. It's a gritty thing. And they all have these really thick, deep London accents. And it is the best. The banter when they're going back and forth. Oi, 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 jog on, you streak of piss. What you doing? What you think you're doing, huh? And you're trying to make me out to look like a mug, you're trying to make me out to look like a mug, you slag. What you doing? It's amazing. So if anyone wants to look it up, if anyone wants to look that up, it's The Football Factory on YouTube. And it's the full movie's on there. I highly recommend it. It's like an hour and a half. It's really fun.
Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
What are they both called? What are the titles?
Well, the first one's The Football Factory.
Football Factory, okay.
Yeah. Then the other one is Green Street Hooligans, which is fun. But Football Factory is like just so good.
Are these like the soccer equivalents of like Goon? That movie with Sean William Scott?
Well, they don't actually play any sport.
Well, yeah, but there's also like a fan involved, I want to say, with it. Jake Baruchel's in it, yeah.
This is all these are literally just
being a fan.
Groups, the lads getting into a little tussle, getting into a little rout. What's the problem?
It's not bad, Stephen. Is that basically what your family sounds like? Less Cockney.
It's my uncle does. My uncle has this really thick Cockney accent. My cousin kind of does, and for the most part, no. My mom's a little more proper. She actually gets she doesn't like she doesn't like when I do my English accent. She's like, we don't all sound like that. Yeah, you do.
And on that note, all right, everybody, We will see you on Sunday. Yeah, I guess we'll break down the last week of preseason, but let's be honest, not a lot of people are going to play. So we'll bring up some other things. We'll bring up Steven. Did you talk to Jason Stark about the division realignments in baseball potentially?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that on Sunday.
Spoke with him for 20 minutes on it, actually. It was
nice.
Great.
Sweet. And we'll talk a little bit about Klay Thompson enjoying Megan Thee Stallion's catfish and spaghetti.
It's just, you like it, babe? You want some spaghetti, babe? You want some food, babe? It's too much.
It's a little much. Until then, thanks everybody in the chat. Thanks to AJ Cruz. Thanks to Rocka New Era. Thanks to Lauren F. Thanks to Otis Bird. Thanks to Skills Report. I remembered you this time, Skills. Thanks to Ernie 1. I didn't see any Pat H. I didn't see anybody else. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anybody. Danny Golding TV. Are we good, everybody? Are we going to call me out saying I forgot one of the people in the chat? I think we're good. All right, everybody. We'll see you on Sunday. Steven, say what you always say.
It is just our opinion, man. JYOM.